So today we are going to discuss about examination of ear. It is of two types. First is physical examination and second is functional examination. In physical examination we have to look onto pinna whether the size and shape of remains same or gets changed, and is there any presence of tags or pre-auricular sinuses, and also have to look the evidence of trauma to pinna, whether the skin conditions of pinna and external auditory canal is perfect or not, evidence of previous surgery, if the patient had a surgery or not, is there any discharge from the external canal, and also look onto the neoplastic lessons of pinna. Red, lax or floppy ears. It is suggested in relapsing polychondritis. It occurs with a sudden onset of unilateral or bilateral ear pain, swelling and redness, sparing the lobules. Now we are going to talk about tympanic membrane. We have to look the color of eardrum. In normal eardrum, it is purely white. In case of AOM, glomus jugular, the color will be red drum. In case of SOM, hematotympanum, the color will be blue drum. In case of osteospongiosis, the color will be pink drum. In case of tympanosclerosis, the color will be chalky drum. Mastoid. We have to check the mastoid by seeing whether the swelling is not present, obliteration of retroauricular groove, fistula, or is there any scar present. Generally, the mastoid surface feels irregular on palpation. It ironed out smooth surface in periosteal formation as seen in subperiosteal abscess. Now we have to palpitate on the ear by checking the stiffness of the earlobe, which is suggested in Addison's disease. And also we have to check the stiffness of the pinna and auricular cartilage in the disease like hyperthyroidism, acromegaly, diabetes mellitus, hypopituitarism. By checking the straightening of ear canal by using oral speculum. Generally in adults, pinna is pulled posterior superior and laterally, but in case of infants, it is pulled posteriorly and downwards. EAC, that means examination without a speculum. In this we have to check the size of meatus, whether it is narrow or wide, and also check the contents of the lumen, wax, debris, discharge or polyp, or swelling of its wall. Now we will talk about examination with a speculum. We have to look for a wax, debris, discharge, polyp, granulations, exostosis, benign or malignant neoplasm, sagging of posterior superior area. Here are some pictures which you can see. Now we will talk about functional examination, in which we have to check auditory function and vestibular function. In auditory function we have to check the voice test, Tenney-Fogg test, Rhine test, Weber's test, absolute bone conduction test. In vestibular function we have to check the spontaneous nystagmus, fistula test, Romberg test, positional test. In voice test, a person with normal hearing usually hears the spoken words clearly from a distance of 12 feet. In each ear separately and also it together. Now we will talk about Rhine's test. Rhine's test is basically in which we have to do air conduction of the ear is compared with its bone conduction. A vibrating Tenney-Fogg is placed on the patient mastoid, and when he stops hearing, it brought beside the meatus. If he still hears, AC is more than BC. In case of positive Rhine, that means AC is more than BC, the person is normal. But in case of negative rain, that means BC is more than AC, which is seen in conductive deafness, which indicates minimum airborne gap of 15 to 20 dB. Reduced Rhine positive. That means AC is more than BC but intensity of both sound reduced. That means SNHL. Infinitely positive Rhine. BC not heard, AC heard. That means severe SNHL. There is another case which is false negative Rhine. That means the BC is more than AC but Weber test led to other ear. That means nil SNHL. Now we will talk about Weber's test. In this, the vibrating tunnel fork is placed in the middle of the forehead of the vertex and the patient is asked in which ear the sound is heard. If sound travels directly to the cochlea via bone, normally it is heard equally in both ears. Lateralized to the worse ear is conductive deafness and the lateralized to the better ear is sensorineural deafness. This test is a sensitive test. It can be pinpointed even at 10 dB hearing difference between the ears. There is another test which is absolute bone conduction test, in which we have to identify the SNHL. The hearing level of the patient is compared to the examiner and then vibrating fork is placed over the mastoid after occluding the EAC. When the patient indicates that he or she is unable to hear the sound anymore, the fork is transferred to the mastoid process of the examiner. Generally, in normal hearing, the examination must not be able to hear the fork, but in SNHL, the examiner will be able to hear the sound. Then the test is interpreted as ABC reduced. There are other tests, Schwabach's test, in which BC of patient compared with examiners but metres not occluded, and Bing test, in which BC test, turning fork on mastoid alternately closes and open EAC. That means SNHL louder when canal occluded. Another test it is Gall's test. That means BC test, which comes under BC test. By using Seigel's speculum in turning fork on mastoid, the hearing will be decreased when pressure is applied. That means negative in ossicular chain fixation. So thank you everyone.